It's Deprogrammed, the podcast where we listen to a band and we want to get you into them. We've done all the work. All you have to do is listen. I still butchered it.
But no, I think that was better than last week.
I remembered to do it this week at least. One of these days I'll write down, hey, this is your intro, bro. And
your cue card, bro.
Just do it. But hey, you know what I like to do? Record pods. Yeah. And if you'd like to support me in that endeavor, patreon.com/oh hi Justin. I'll leave it there. That's the only sell I'm going to do right here. The voice you just heard, you may find familiar.
Yeah, because I'm here every week now. So
Joe has moved in.
I'm now a panel member permanently.
Yeah, he just walked in the house and was like, hey.
Hey, what's up? I've been here a few times now, so I live here. So it's fine.
I mean, it works for me. But 2 weeks in a row, my friend.
Yeah. And then couple weeks prior before that.
Yeah. So once in 3 years.
Well, not 3 years. It definitely was almost a year that we didn't see each other, though.
That too, yeah. And I was talking about specifically the show, but yeah.
Oh yeah, for the program itself.
We went over a year before we went to go see Story So Far.
Yeah.
It was over a year that we had seen each other, and then all of a sudden here we are.
Now we're seeing each other all the time. Inseparable.
Oh my god!
Now we're palsies again, all the time.
And also the other voice you heard, my dear wife Kristin.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about Angels and Airwaves, and I think I want to, because Joe and I have a lot to offer in this conversation. You, much like me, almost every week, you're discovering this band.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to say this. It felt at times, because I was around while she was listening.
Yeah.
And sometimes it felt like you were struggling. Not that you didn't like it, but so what did we decide?
I was struggling to listen to the music.
Well, you're
how did I seem that way?
Well, it's almost like you would turn it off. You'd be listening to a song or two, and then you were exhausted of listening to music or something. I can relate, by the way.
It might have just been my brain not being able to handle listening to them, because I was trying to pay attention and still be doing life.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Understandable.
I think that's all that was.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that wasn't the case, though.
I was going to say, I get that, too, because, last week it was the same thing. I was listening, trying to discover, but it's trying to do things, too. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I hate this. Or this is not good. And then I had to actually go through and, be present.
To listen.
Right.
To catch it. So I get that, totally.
Right.
So we're doing Angels and Airwaves, as I said, and the timing on this
is impeccable.
It couldn't have been more perfect, I don't think.
It's a very good time, especially if you... And again, we always talk about genres and stuff like that, but I hate talking about genres. I say that the last 3 shows that we've done.
Yeah.
I don't want to just pigeonhole a band into one specific genre, especially this band, right? But it's so, awesome if you like this type of music right now, because there's so much good stuff out there right now.
So we'll start with this, and I mean, this is big news. No one is going to be shocked.
No.
Joe and I, huge Blink-182 fans.
Huge.
And the new album came out.
Yeah.
9. And obviously this is relevant not only because, we'll say mostly because Tom is in Angels and Airwaves.
Right.
So to have this come out now, right when we're about to do this episode specifically,
it's fate.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
It seems like it.
So we also watched, because we got to talk about Tom. You know what? Let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about 9 real quick.
Let's talk about 9.
Because we have to. We have to talk about it into microphones, not just with each other, which we did, by the way.
Which we did. Yeah. I mean, we also, just have to continually talk about Blink, even though we're not doing deprogrammed again of Blink yet. But we will.
Eventually.
Because of 9.
Yes.
And California.
Yes.
But so, 9 is such a, again, and all the haters will say, Matt sucks, we want Tom back, blah, blah, blah. Well, number one, we're about to talk about Tom a lot in the side project that he turned into his main project because he wanted to explore different avenues of music.
Yeah.
Well, with 9, and California, those progressions of dick and fart jokes that we saw, take off your pants and jacket was the last time we kind of saw that. But California was a grown-up version with some dick and fart jokes thrown in there still. And now 9 is just miles and miles above where California was. And Matt finding his spot in the band.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that, again, 9 comes out when we're discovering this, because you pointed out an Ernie Ball interview that... Yep. It was Finding the Sound, or
it was a Pursuit of Tone.
Pursuit of Tone.
Yep.
And it was with Tom DeLonge. And he was talking about his time with Blink and kind of why they kind of drifted apart. And it's funny that this Blink album, even though sound-wise it's different from what Tom wanted to do with the band.
Yeah.
One of the jabs he keeps making is that, well, Mark is happy just doing pop punk, essentially.
Yeah,
I'm rewording it.
Yeah, but you're not. That's pretty accurate to what the quote was. Like, it was something like, and I'm speaking as Tom, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, not a direct quote, but I like to challenge myself musically. I like to do things that are difficult for me, or I don't think that I can do. And Mark is satisfied staying in the same path. He's satisfied with what he has. Essentially, that's what he said. Yeah. So it's kind of like, yeah, Mark's great, but he doesn't really do things differently.
Which, I mean, I don't know. Plus 44 was not like Blink.
No.
I guess it's similar enough, I guess, because of Mark's voice. But between what they did with California, which would have come out roughly around when this interview came out.
Yeah, 2016, I think it was posted, so it was probably shot in 2015.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, it seemed like a shot across the board, first of all. And again, just to see them take this step forward as a band, as a whole.
Well, they definitely did. So in the documentary, really, it's about 100, or it's an hour and 22-minute documentary. It is really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. But honestly, if you searched it out and watched the first 15 minutes, you're going to get the gist, I think, of like understanding Angels and Airwaves a lot more, I think. Because in that first 15 minutes, that's when I texted you. I was like, you got to watch this, dude.
Yeah.
But so that first 15 minutes, and basically, to paraphrase again, is like, Tom's reason for leaving Blink is that he wanted to expand musically and try different things and get out of just the pop punk dick and fart jokes.
Right.
Which I understand. That's fine.
Totally.
And so he wanted to use, there's a lot of him playing with pedals and delays and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what that means because I don't really know guitar. But if you know music, you know guitars and stuff like that, then you understand. But using pedals and delays and like, different... like a didgeridoo and a whole bunch of different
stuff. Yeah.
Some bunch of different stuff, and that's where he wanted to go with it and wanted to try different things. Again, challenge himself differently than just your classic power chords and riffs. He wanted to throw all that together, and that's why he wanted to do Angels and Airwaves.
Well, and he keeps making the case that what people want, what people like, and we saw the revolt against Neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I mean, even it took me a long time to come around to what Neighborhoods was. And Neighborhoods is close to what Tom wanted to do, but still not there.
Yeah, not 100%. And it's like, so that was kind of, so let's see, when did Neighborhoods come out? Was that like 2012-ish?
Yeah, I was going to say 2011,
So he had already
that.
put out the first 2 Angels and Airwaves albums at that point. So... yeah, I think Neighborhoods was that try to expand on what Blink was, and he even says it in the documentary too. What Ghost on the Dance Floor was his experiment to try to expand Blink into a new band.
And so we'll talk about Angels and Airwaves a little bit more, but let's stay.
Well, I hope so.
Well, obviously, but let's stay on Tom specific here a little bit more because in the. So Angels and Airwaves, to me, when you look at like the pantheon of Blink albums, like all of at least Tom's work with the band, to me it really starts on Enema of the State.
Mm-hmm.
And he even mentions that kind of like bringing in Travis, and it just kind of was a click to him. Okay, I can do this now. And then it comes more so to the forefront on Take Off Your Pants and songs like Short Story of a Lonely Guy, Stay Together for the Kids for sure. And maybe Give Me One Good Reason, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they all fit in that Blink pocket, but, you know, just outside.
Just outside, even. Heavier and more. There was definitely more expansion of, again, even though they're using your basic chord progressions, like he even said, but they turned up the pedals, or whatever the case, and just made it different in that case to the bigger. Yeah, that's a good word.
And then, you know, the next evolution, like the more apparent one, is Boxcar, where like he kind of stepped away completely from Blink and decided, hey, I'm gonna do this, and
I'm gonna do something a little heavier, a little deeper.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, while I can kind of hear that, I still kind of think Boxcar is very similar to Blink, other than not telling any dick and fart jokes.
Right. Yeah. Well, and you know, not having the back and forth between Mark as well.
Right.
Which honestly is one of the biggest negatives, and it's barely even a negative about where Blink is currently. Like
not having that back and forth.
You know, and Matt and Mark do have a good rapport, and there's plenty of call and response. I do wish there were more Matt songs.
Yeah. And I think so. I've been trying to figure it out because I've listened to not a lot, but I know Alkaline Trio a lot too, and he really doesn't take the lead a lot. He's kind of he's better as a backup guy, okay. I think. But I enjoy his direct songs. So you can tell which ones are a little bit more him. They're a little bit more darker because he's kind of has that darker vibe, you know. So I think he is better as that second, like that backup.
Yeah.
Which, if we're going kind of full circle again, why I think a lot of people hate what Blink-182 is now, because Tom is a really good front man.
Yeah.
So right now, as Blink, Mark is good and Matt is good. Neither of them are necessarily a true front man, though. So I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from.
Yeah, I guess.
As I'm kind of going through all this in my head right now, I really just thought of that. Like that's why there's so much hate of like, oh, Blink-182 right now.
That as a fan is pretty aggravating.
Yeah, so aggravating. But anyway, Tom, sorry, we're in back and forth.
And you know,
listen, guys, you're gonna hear a lot of Blink-182 references.
It's gonna
in this.
happen.
It's the same. So just deal with it.
Last thing about timing. So it comes out earlier this week that the Navy says, "Oh yeah, by the way, those videos that Tom DeLonge released, those were real.
Yep,
those were unidentified flying objects."
Yep.
It's like, what?
That's real.
Those
aliens exist.
Hey, Mom, there's something in the back room.
Exactly.
Kristen's like, what?
Yeah,
because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know about what's going on in the world.
That's all right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, neither do I really. Only when I pull up the Google page and I see headlines.
I literally just like listen to the music, so you guys are like having this full-on conversation about like 5 different bands that they've all been a part of.
Kristen's just like,
and I'm like,
I just have my list.
I know all the bands and I know all the members of the bands, but I've not listened to those songs.
It helps tell the Angels and Airwaves story. Like, it'd be different if we were way off the reservation here. I'd be like, oh, pump the brakes, let's get back. But this all helps tell the story. So
well, I know that the reason you asked me to be on was because you know that this is the music that I like, and I'm I like Blink-182, and I've listened to all this stuff with you.
Specifically, Untitled. I know you like Untitled, and while
such a good record, too.
Yeah, but like Untitled is kind of like the closest thing sound-wise that Blink did that gets
Angels and
Airwaves.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, that was. I mean. That was that first. If you're gonna compare the two at all, like that could fall into. It could fall into an Angels and Airwaves record, without really big crescendos bringing it back down.
Right.
Another big crescendo bringing it back down, but it's pretty close to an Angels and Airwaves record.
You could tell he tried with Violence, like specifically, like the way kind of and then so it's there, and again, Asthenia, like playing with sound a little bit.
Yep.
So Tom, very experimental, and that's brings us to Angels and Airwaves. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about Angels and Airwaves specifically, Joe. Like, when did you get into them?
Well, so I knew of Angels and Airwaves probably right around 2011 or 12 time frame. That's when I first found out about them. I used to watch One Tree Hill for all you One Tree Hill fans, and there was an episode on there where they were on there. So I searched them out. I heard the song. I was like, "That's a really good song." I'm sure we're gonna get into it, so I'm not gonna say what that song is.
Right.
But I searched it out. I was like, "Oh," and then I started to dive into it a little bit. But then I really got into it in 2013. At the height of my emo-ness in the last...
I knew you then.
In the last decade. And I know I told you about... This is kicking back to last week when Ronald told you about Brand New.
Yeah.
I know I told you about Angels and Airwaves, and I don't think Justin then was like,
yeah. Even Justin then, not even quite 10 years ago, was kind of like, don't tell me what bands to like.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was really northern of me. But so, that's when I first discovered them, but I really didn't... Number one, I guess I didn't really stay with it because of the whole Blink-182 breakup. Mm-hmm. Because when that happened, I said, fuck you, Tom DeLonge, and fuck you, Angels and Airwaves. I don't want to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
I was so mad about it. And kicking back after watching the documentary, I have so much more appreciation for the band and where he's at mentally, musically, I guess, as much as I can be as a fan. Obviously, I don't know the guy, but seeing that and hearing him what he says, like, I can understand things a little bit more of why that decision was made to leave the band or whatever and to really devote to Angels and Airwaves. So, getting back into it, I guess in the last year was when I really started to actually jump back into it. But something funny is that I didn't even know this until you posted on the group of the albums. Uh-huh. My first glimpse into Angels was I Empire. I thought that was the first record.
Oh, okay.
And then I thought We Don't Whisper, or No Need to Whisper.
Yeah, We Don't Need to Whisper.
I thought that was the second album. And I've never really liked that album. I was like, man, they really went down in that second album. And now literally just this week, I realized, holy shit. That's the first one.
Yeah, so
it makes so much more sense. Yeah. It was like a mind bomb to me. That was really cool. It was, again, I know this band, but that was a cool discovery. And then also, I didn't even show so much I was really paying attention. I didn't even know Dreamwalker existed.
Oh.
I know it wasn't on our list, but I didn't know they have it's like the scores, like a couple of remixes scores. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know Chasing Shadows, that EP existed. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lot I didn't know existed. So that was kind of
Tom stays busy.
Tom stays busy, man. I thought he was just searching for aliens, which apparently he found. But
to the Stars Academy.
But overall, it was really cool to find that kind of discovery, revisit. We Don't Need to Whisper, knowing now that it's the first record, and then seeing that progression, and then I really enjoyed. Maybe the list won't reflect it necessarily, but I really enjoyed the Dreamwalker. I like
Me too.
How grown up it is, and I really think now with a lot of the newer stuff, I feel like they've really found their groove of what Angels and Airwaves truly is. Like, they've experimented 4 albums now. A lot of not I don't think there's any like stinkers. I just feel like there was a lot that I don't know how to say it other than just like, okay, that was an experiment. Didn't really work to me in my ears, you know. But I think where they're at now specifically, and the new album that's going to come out in December, I'm really excited to see where that is.
Yeah, because there's maybe even a couple months ago 2 new songs came out, and we included those in the list. And I'm very
thankfully we did.
Very glad we did.
Yeah.
So, Hun, when I asked, hey, do you want to do Angels and Airwaves? What were you expecting when you hit play?
I was probably expecting a little more punk than there was.
Makes sense.
I get that.
We'll talk about that in a second, too.
When I mentioned, like, because I thought my sister liked the band, when I mentioned them to her, she was like, isn't that like Blink-182? And I was like, I mean, Tom DeLonge is in the band, but like, I would have thought that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like that's anybody that knows Tom DeLonge is the front man in this band will automatically assume or expect to hear, like, Blink. So I think that was a pleasant surprise to not hear Blink.
Well, it's funny you say that because I sent a couple songs to my girlfriend, and I was like, "What'd you think?" She was like, "It sounded like Blink-182 to me."
Yeah,
is it Blink-182? I'm like, "No, it's not." But it's Tom.
I mean, because his voice.
I was gonna say,
yeah. He has a very recognizable voice.
Right,
so like,
right. It's very unique.
No matter what band he's in, you're going to think, it's Blink-182.
Well, it's just like when Billy Corgan did Zwan.
Right.
Why don't you just call it Smashing Pumpkins? Well, why don't you actually listen to the songs and hear how they're different than Smashing Pumpkins? How about that?
Can you let an artist expand and like just do something different?
First of all, they're all happy songs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I have to, like, and I just have to say, I think it is awesome when an artist has something that is that recognizable or unique that, it kind of stinks. Yes, they were like, Billy Corgan, and same thing with Tom DeLonge in a hugely successful band that people think when they hear them that it's that band. But I think that is awesome when you, as an artist, have reached that level where, anybody, whether they're a fan or not, can identify you and know your music. So, I think hats off to, Tom DeLonge specifically for Angels and Airwaves.
I think that's why I'm glad he got away from Blink, because
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, I'd be curious to hear it now, but
I mean, all the what ifs we could do all day,
right? But like, I don't know that if you take where Tom wanted to go, they would have been more growers, as opposed to where California and Nine are just like, bam, right in my face, I'm already in.
Yep. It would have had to build a little bit more, I think.
Just like Neighborhoods.
Which is fine, it works. And to your point, too, of, having that recognizable sound, like, that's superstardom in a nutshell, essentially, you know what I mean? And, like, why he can do so many of these things, too, is like, I'm Tom DeLonge. I don't know. Maybe he is that guy. I don't know him, but I don't think he is that guy. Where like he just walks around
San Diego chill, but like there is an air of
there is an air of arrogance also. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to have a sit down conversation with him.
I'd love to chat with him.
I would love to also. I am going to San Diego next month, so maybe I'll see him at Dog Beach.
Him up.
Yeah.
Be like,
hey Tom, can we have a chat?
Let's be besties.
Yeah, let's be besties. But like you said, it would be. It is a fun fantasy to think about of like, well, what if Tom didn't leave? Like, what would would we be getting, or would we be getting anything?
Yeah,
would it have just ended?
Yeah,
totally imploded, and like we never hear about Blink again. But
which would be sad.
Which would be very sad. I also like what you said. I'm okay with, and I actually love now that Tom left, and what Blink has become, and now I also get Angels and Airwaves too.
Yeah,
like you're molding something I really, really, truly love, and something that I'm really starting to fall in love with.
Yeah,
which is great.
I think that Angels and Airwaves may not be like an immediate, I'm going to throw them into rotation all the time, but I think they're going to be a band that I go back to quite frequently.
Yeah,
now from here on out,
for sure.
To your point, though, hon, where you said you were expecting maybe more punk. Mm-hmm. When we watched that interview with Tom, the Ernie Ball interview, he even said at the end, like, or somewhere towards the end, like, well, who decides what punk is? What's more punk than what I'm doing right now?
Right.
And again, it's that arrogant thing, but like, punk isn't a sound, it's a feeling, it's an attitude.
Right. Well, and I was gonna say that too, and I think it was somewhere around the same time, I don't remember, he said when he was growing up, he was a teenager when Blink first started playing, and they just played, like that's all they played the songs, and he went to a show, I don't remember the show that he went to, but they stopped in the middle and they were like having fun, and then they went back to playing, and it was like a light bulb to him, like, whoa, you can have fun while doing this too? And that's kind of like where his mindset of experimenting with music, why, and again, even though we're going to say it, and I'll say it again probably 100 times this show, that genre word, but like, it's not a genre. It's just music. You know what I mean? It's you can't. I don't want to pigeonhole it to punk or pop punk or alternative. That's so like one side. You can't, especially a band like Angels and Airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really put it in any of those slots because you get a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. I also loved how he tells the story about they played with Oasis one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just acting like Blink was just acting like jerks up on the stage like they always did, dick and fart jokes. And afterwards, Liam Gallagher comes in and goes, "Are you guys Blink-182? I love you. You guys are the best thing I've seen since coming to America." And Tom goes, "Well, that dude's punk as fuck."
Well, also he said, "Oh, you really like us?" He said, "I didn't say that. I just said you're the best I've seen since coming to America."
Which is great. Which is pretty freaking great. So now we get into the nitty gritty here. Talk to me about what it was like putting your 20 songs together, Joe.
Honestly, it was super easy for me.
Yeah.
It was really easy for me. Whenever we decided the day that we decided that we were going to do this, I automatically just pulled up the notes, started just writing ones down. I probably had 20 without even having to look at the discography.
Wow.
I think. I at least had 15 for sure, but I think I had a full 20. So then going to it, I started, listening through once you posted up on the group. So like the Dreamwalker, again, I didn't know anything about that. I was like, whoa, holy crap. So that added more to it. And then to make cuts and stuff like that turned out to be not too hard, because I feel like after watching the documentary, for me, hearing what Tom thought Angels and Airwaves was and what he wanted it to be made it very easy for me to like go in,
hone in,
understand how we do the show, but then also like, okay, this is also what I like, which kind of played into what he said what he wanted Angels and Airwaves to be.
Yeah.
Overall process, probably the easiest one that I've done.
I mean, sometimes you got to have them easy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which brings me to Kristin, you're truly going to be the wild card here, because you don't have that information that Joe and I did that helped frame us putting our list together. What was it like for you? It
was just simply listening and saying, "Oh, I like this one," like move that one forward.
Yeah.
It was just a pretty basic process, but I mean, like you pointed out, it got a little difficult when I was trying to like do things, and then I felt like I wasn't paying enough attention to the music, so then I'd have to like turn it off and come back to it. So when I was in the car, that is when I paid the most attention. So some of the albums probably got more of my focus because I was in the car listening. But it was good.
Did you feel like that you had to listen to the full song all the time, or were you able to like kind of hear one like, cool, I like that, and move on to the next one?
For some of them, I did that. But then I would go back because I'd listen to other songs and realize like the song is totally different like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like,
especially with this band.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I need to go back and listen to this song because I totally skipped after like 2.5 minutes, and cool. I might have missed something good here at the end. So.
Yeah, especially with this band, you have a lot of those changes.
There's some songs where it doesn't really get into the song until like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, seriously. And there's a couple on my list too. Same thing. It's like. And that was kind of the same when I was originally discovering it back in the day. Was one of those things too. Like I would hear the first couple minutes, like, I don't really like that. Next, so coming back to it, obviously I knew it a little bit better now, but same thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy another shot, and like, wow, it really changes 4.5 minutes in. Now I kind of like this song.
Well, to that point, I found Love really difficult. Love is hard.
Love is hard. Love is hard.
But I
both parts.
Yeah.
There's a line.
Yeah.
One of the songs.
It just the way they all, like, literally all of them play into each other.
They do.
Like, there's no
break.
So it's like I'd pull one out, and then when I listened back to it, I'd be like, well, this doesn't fit the same way without song X.
Well, they used to be separate. They were separate albums originally. Love 1 was released, and then later like Love 2 was released. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I think the streaming has become the thing where they actually just compiled them together, which helps a whole lot, because alone separately they're definitely incomplete albums. Mm-hmm. Because again, I remember when I bought these albums, it was a bundle. It was a 4-pack bundle that I bought in 2013 or 14, whatever it was, and they were all separate. So now that it's a full, just this big long hour and 30-minute adventure, it helps it a whole lot.
I also kept 2 things in mind when actually I listened to the first record before watching the documentary. Mm-hmm. So like it's funny looking back at the ones that I picked from there that kind of fit anyway. Right. Afterwards, I thought of movie scores, like what it would sound like does it set up a scene? Like, well, power saves a thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, but we were talking about movie scores.
Yeah, I kept thinking about, could this set up a scene? And then the other thing was one word and one word only, soaring. Yeah. Which Tom refers to several times in several different different interviews about he wants it to feel like you're soaring when you listen to Angels and Airwaves.
Well, he's talking about coming in and guitar riffs and bringing you up and then bringing you back down and then bringing you back up like a roller coaster ride, crescendoing, whatever, another guitar riff or whatever it is, and then bringing you back down and easing you out. But this train ride, this roller coaster of emotion, and same thing like you said, like bringing you through a movie. Like, well, again, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not just thinking in music, I'm thinking in emotion, I'm thinking in feelings. Yeah. So again, going back to our quick, conversation multiple times of not pigeonholing this band especially into a genre, because it's not. Like, you've got music, and then if you're thinking like a movie too, like, again, putting yourself into this song, how would this look as a movie? Yeah. And he even talked about that too in the documentary of why he has film, all these cameras and stuff like that, and they film a bunch of stuff, that's not.
Well, and actually, like, that's what he's talking about with the new record. Like, it's going to have a movie. It's going to have all this stuff that he's been talking about for years. Yeah. It's finally happening for him, which is pretty exciting, actually.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it.
But with that being said, the name of the game is Deprogrammed.
Getting into it.
I know, right? The three of us have come through, what was it, five records? Well, if you count Love as a double, as two records.
Yeah, if you count Love as a double, so really 1, 2, 3, 4 records.
Four records. We've come through them and each pulled out 20 songs that we're now going to bounce off of each other in an attempt to make a top 10 starter kit for Angels and Airwaves.
Here we go.
And I will say this, go in with an open ear and an open mind and let it in.
You have to.
And
honestly, again, you don't have to spend the whole hour, 22 minutes watching this documentary unless you really want to. Right. It's a really good documentary. You'll enjoy it. Take that first
especially 15, if you're a Blink fan.
Yeah, 15 minutes, and you'll understand this band a whole lot more.
Yep. Well, yeah. So I'm going to start right here. I have to. It's a radio tune, and it's like the radio tune. But watching interviews with Tom, he says it's like the best thing he's ever written. And message-wise, it's on point. It does everything you want out of an Angels and Airwaves song, The Adventure.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I have that one. I couldn't get that one out of my head. It was stuck in my head.
Well, so off that first record, and I've read a couple of there's album reviews out there all over the interwebs, whatever, and a lot of people, and I feel this way also, like that first record didn't hit until The Adventure. Yeah. Like The Adventure was the first actual okay, we got something here, maybe a little something. Because again, just not discovery, but experimenting.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I hear a lot of U2 in this song specifically. And initially, when it first came out, that was a turnoff to me. I was like, I don't want. What are you doing, man? But now, a grown-up Justin can hear that and really appreciate the layers and especially the story he tells about that riff specifically. He's like, I don't know where to go with this, and he's just doing the one thing over and over again. For 2 hours, he said he just kind of sat at the computer doing nothing.
Yeah, and they show that in the documentary too. And then,
snippet. and it's just like
all of a sudden it hits. I'm like, oh,
we got it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And again, like it's perfect name, The Adventure, because the adventure of finding where he is, where the band is, where he wants to go with it. Like, you know, you can have a lot of great ideas, but how do you put them into play?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good kind of description of that song to me.
And then the last thing I'll say about The Adventure, like I mentioned its message. I guess his really good friend was going through a divorce. Mm-hmm. And like was just all bummed out, and Tom's like, man, fuck that, like you have life ahead of you now, man, and so he kind of took a negative and turned it into a positive,
right, and
wrote this song. So like I just thought all of that packaged together, just it makes for a great Angels and Airwaves song.
Yeah, for sure.
Specifically. So
again, it plays right into the formula too of brings you in, you get a riff, you get build up, crescendo, bring you back down, bring you back up.
Yep.
So it's that formula.
All right, we got one.
We got one right off the bat.
Through.
All right, Joe.
So I'm still trying to decide. I've been trying to decide this for 2 days, the route that I was going to take with this. But I think I'm going to go this route because we talked about it earlier. We've talked about a lot. We're going to talk about a lot. Again, it plays into the formula of this. It is a more grown-up Angels and Airwaves. It is, I feel, they have found where they're at, going through all the albums and experimenting with different things. They have their formula. They have what Angels and Airwaves is going to be. And then you also get a little kind of glimpse of your classic Sing and Respond, a little bit. And it's the newest single, Kiss and Tell.
I got it.
I love this song.
Oh, it's great.
So much.
It is so good.
I didn't put Kiss and Tell on my list.
Okay, that's fine.
I can understand, it's newer too. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we included this on the list because when I first heard this, I was like, dude, like this is Angels and Airwaves. Like this is, if I was going to put all of my favorite bands and say this, again, this is why we do this program, right? But this is Angels and Airwaves, like that's my number one. Like that's Angels and Airwaves to me. And again, with that, you get a little singer respond again, sort of, in a way,
right?
With the chorus. Yeah. So
Tom way. All right. Well, it's got two of us, so it goes over to the conversation. All right, hon. Let's see where your head's at.
I'm going to go with, since you took The Adventure from me, this first one, Some Origins of Fire.
Oh, no.
Hold on one second. I know I had it. Did I move it
Did you keep it or not?
Did I keep it? I did. I did not keep this one. This one,
Love's Impossible, man.
I took out on the ride up here, actually.
Oh, wow.
But I do like Some Origins of Fire. Again, this one from Love. Again, we've talked about Love is a hard album, and Love is too. But Some Origins of Fire is like a real bright spot in Love because if I remember correctly, it starts a little slow, but then it comes boom, hits you right in the face. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but that was a last minute takeout to get down to 20 for me.
Isn't that the one that I was referencing that for 2 minutes and 50 seconds it's musical? It's a musical intro.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what took it out for me.
So I was thinking of a different one. Yeah, so I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one.
But I see where your head's at now, so I'm going to play the game accordingly.
So I'm going to go back to the first record.
That one's one of my favorite ones. So.
Oh, well, you never lead with a favorite,
but you never know where I'm going to go. So
yeah, you definitely have the wild card. So I mean, you can just throw out bombs.
So I'm going to go back to that first record.
Oh boy,
and I'm going to come out hot because again, before I even knew what the band was. Before, like, The Adventure was my only frame of reference, and before I watched the documentary, like this one hit me, and you push play on the playlist, and it's number one, Valkyrie Missile.
I don't have this one.
Let me see if I added that one. I didn't. Nope.
Oh, I'm out on my own on this one.
This one I didn't even make the first list for me. Again, that first record, again, and this whole time I thought it was the second record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that played a part into it.
Maybe.
But yeah, for whatever reason, I don't have a lot from that first record.
That's We Don't Need a Whisper, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. That was probably my favorite listening to the whole album through for some reason.
Yeah. So you do have it or don't?
I don't have that song.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No.
You're saying got it as in now you
No,
understand.
I understand. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just a real quick note.
Yeah.
First of all, the open is spot on Angels and Airwaves, and then it feels like it could be a scene in space.
Yeah, well, so that, I mean, they have this a lot, you know, very spacey and futuristic. Go figure. But yeah, again, I think it just plays into the formula. So I do like, again, I don't know, again, if this is just a Tom thing, being Blink or whatever, but he does always lead off with good songs. Like you get that number one right out the bullet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he does have that going for him, but yeah. So.
All right. Joe?
Okay, well, so since we are on the first record, I am going to pull this guy out because this is my favorite song on the album. Again, there's only another one being The Adventure. So this is the second favorite on this album, and it is The War.
I got it.
And I love this song, how it builds, and then all of a sudden comes in, dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Bam, dun, dun, you know.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
Hey, there we go. We moved it over. There it is.
Into the finals.
Oh.
My only note was it grooves.
Yeah,
Like
it does.
It's just a groove.
It's just such a track, man.
Yeah.
It's such a track.
All right, hon.
All right,
Where
I'm
are you gonna go?
go back to We Don't Need a Whisper. I'll do Distraction.
I got it.
I don't have it. I take it back. I had it in my honorable mentions, but I cut it, so I don't have it. It's on the
notes here. What did I say? Oh, I actually didn't have. It was song number 20, and I just didn't have any notes.
Yeah,
I couldn't find a reason to cut it. It was one of those songs I liked a lot.
I mean, I do think it does it still plays into that formula of what Angels and Airwaves is. I think it was just compared to the rest of my list, I just felt it was more on the more mellow end. So that's why
almost safer.
A little safer pick. That's why it left for me.
Well, it moves over to the conversation. All right, so I'm going to go here, moving into I Empire. Sound-wise, maybe not necessarily Angels and Airwaves, but I thought lyrically rather important. He dives. Well, what is my note here? May not have scenic AVA feel, but lyrically one of their best. And it's Tom really kind of telling the story of Tom. Okay, calm down over there, computer. Tom telling the story of Tom, really. Rite of Spring.
I don't have it.
Me neither.
That's okay.
But that is a good pick. Yeah, literally, I forget how it opens up, but literally talking about being a boy and growing up. Yeah, and I do like the background. Ooh, oh, oh.
Yeah. Like I said, technically, sound-wise, it doesn't have the scenery that an Angels and Airwaves song. I just thought it was important that here he is, like, instead of in a nursery rhyme way like he was with Blink, he's just straightforward telling you, this is what happened to me.
This is what happened.
So, all right. Joe?
Well, since you're there, I'm going to pull... which one am I going to go with, though? I'm just going to pull the banger out. So this is the song that was on One Tree Hill. The first thing that I ever heard about Angels and Airwaves. I loved it. It's the formula. You're going to hear it 20 more times probably, but it's the formula. It builds. It comes in. It just hits you in the face, and it just stays there. It's a song that gives me goosies, and it's Secret Crowds.
Oh, no, I don't have it.
What?
No. It was on...
What album is that on?
That's on I Empire.
That is the one album I think I was not able to give them much attention to.
Oh, no.
I know, because I only have 2 songs from that on here.
Oh, no, you guys.
I know.
I am heartbroken right now.
I'm very sorry. I'll have to go back and listen to that album after
My heart hurts.
I'm sorry.
I might have to quit.
I'm so sorry.
I might have to go home, guys. I think I'm done. That's
this
it.
song gives you the goosies. It's worth listening to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, definitely you should check it out
because
I think it's a really good jam. But that's okay. That's fine.
Duly noted.
We all get hurt sometimes. It's okay.
Especially
it hurts
on this show.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It's fine.
All
it's
right.
Speaking of, I guess I'll go with that one next. It hurts.
That was I was playing into that.
Yeah. Well, that one's on my list, so I'll go ahead and play that one.
I don't have it.
Nor do I.
Oh, okay.
I like that track, and it does hurt.
Well, I mean, and a lot of these are gonna, so
it's all right.
All right.
Okay, I'm good.
Heading back to the track 1 pace, and I'm diving into Love here. The Flight of Apollo.
Knew it.
I do have the Flight of Apollo, and the actual first track plays into the Flight of Apollo,
right?
Like you were talking about. So you can kind of, I don't know if to pair those up, but I don't necessarily think you need it. But it is cool to hear how Love opens and then it plays into that spacey, futuristic feel. Mm-hmm. This is also one that takes a little bit to build into, but once it gets there, it is there.
Yeah. Well, and then it plays right into the next track off of Flight of Apollo too. So it's like, well, and that's why we say love is difficult, because you really kind of need the whole hour and a half to really give it.
If you can devote to it, I really like in the Flight of Apollo, and my note was literally in parentheses just space, and I just like how I'm falling and something's reaching out. Like it's just so like melancholy, but also like you can feel like it's building to something. Like it's almost just that anticipation. To me, I'm like
puts you in a space.
It's about to happen.
Yeah, and then it just boom comes in. So I really like
perfect
that
feeling of opening credits in space. Mm-hmm. So life doesn't hurt so badly.
Yep.
Oh, it's just a good line.
Life doesn't hurt so badly.
That's just a good line.
Did all 3 of us have it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 all the way through.
Nice.
All right, Joe.
Okay. Well, now that my heart hurts, I don't know if I can risk throwing on another banger that doesn't make it, but I'm going to try. We're going to stick with Love. And this song also, it's one that takes a while to build, but I also feel once it gets there is just the guitars, everything. It's one long solo. It builds in the solo, brings you back down, brings you back up. It is We Are All That We Are. I'm gutted. I'm gutted. Oh, no. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, okay, I'm going home.
Unfortunately, that's one of those ones that, like you said, I'm sure if you can give it the time.
It takes 3 minutes to build.
And that was the strike.
It is a long build.
I didn't have that.
Oh God, I need some. You guys got some aspirins or something?
Really bad.
I'm a little beat up here.
This is how I would be if I did a show with handsome or people that weren't handsome.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Yep.
I would feel. I understand.
It's okay. It's all right. I'll be okay. I'll live, I think.
All right, hon.
Just so that I don't lose my place on my list, I'm going to go in order. The next one I have is Shove.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have Shove.
Yeah. Sometimes it comes with a shove when you fall in love. I could not get away from that line.
Yeah.
Like it's been in my head since I pushed play.
Well, again, like Love is a tough album, but if you can open up to it and just listen through how everything plays into itself, you get a lot of good tracks in there.
Yeah.
So it's a good track. I just
and that's what
don't have it.
I felt about Shove was like it played on its own. Like when you take it out of the context of the album, it still plays just as well, if not better in some cases. But yeah, I just kept coming to that line. Like that line was just stuck in my head. Sometimes it comes with a shove when you fall in love. And I was just like, it's not as sing-songy as that. I made it more sing-songy. Right. But like I couldn't get it out of my head. So, Oh, and hold on. What's the other line? Show me the world that's inside your head. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that one got me too.
Yeah, just let's share with each other what we're doing here.
Yeah,
let's
take my thoughts.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's beautiful.
It's a good love song.
Indeed. Which
On love.
yeah,
On love.
which Tom does a whole lot of.
Tom does really good at it.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna step out of the box here, and this one's gonna hurt if it's not in for me, but I've had it in my head.
Oh, I'm gonna make it hurt.
I could not get away from this song either. And actually, I don't know if it made your list, but you and I were definitely humming it before the show today. Paralyzed.
Yep. This is a
that one's
documentary.
on mine too.
It's a documentary song too.
Yeah.
And Dreamwalker, man, again, like Dreamwalker, Dreamwalker, they found what Angels and Airwaves is. Yeah. I think grown up more. Again, experimented a lot. We said it 100 times already, but I think Dreamwalker is, if not get rid of all the other stuff, because obviously you need the other stuff to be where you're at. But if this was their first record, man, there'd be so many people in. I think
I was so surprised when I started that record.
Yeah.
Like, just like what? Like, because it's not it's not like completely out of the box different, but it's like that. Like you said, grown up. Like it's just that different. It's the difference between California and Nine.
For sure.
You know?
Well, even too, if you if you went We Don't Need to Whisper and then you went Dreamwalker, you think is entirely different band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Entirely different
100%.
band. Still, like, I feel like I might actually do that, but you'd be like, okay, I think this is still Angels and Airwaves. Yeah, that's Angels and wow, okay, cool.
So my note here, Groove and Line, which of course, like right out of the top, like that, the bass is just there, present. Mm-hmm. And my next note was a lot of different sounds that maybe shouldn't work together. Like there's actually points in Paralyzed where like I'm getting Radiohead vibes, like specifically Airbag, like a track one off of OK Computer. Just like I was like, what are we doing here? Like, I dig this.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, I think you just said it too, there's just a lot of, like, background. Mm-hmm. Like, not even necessarily, you can pinpoint it, but it's almost like background noise. Like, my ears anyway, I like tune into it, but, like, can't exactly pinpoint what it is. But it's something that just, like, I guess almost like if you were front row at a show right by the speakers, it's just kind of like, what's a good word? Permeating, is that a good word?
I like
into your eardrums. There's my big words.
Yeah. Just it hits. It just hits.
It does hit.
All right, Joe.
Well, I don't know. I've had 2 strikes in a row. I don't know if I can take though. 3.
We're still doing really good.
We are doing really good. Okay, well, so I'm gonna go. We are going over to Love. And this one, well, I'm not going to say it because then you guys won't have it. This is a good track to me. I really, I enjoy this track decently. Don't Pressure Us, Anxiety. Yep. I'm a Passenger. You got it?
Yep.
Oh, thank God. I couldn't take another loss. But really, being that the name is Anxiety and I deal with anxiety, like that song really kind of describes it to me of like just being a passenger. Like you're along for the ride. Like it's not going to stop. You're a passenger, you know? So like, yeah,
no, I clung to that one too. And yeah, like, you know, part of it could be just because the name of the song is Anxiety. So like it stuck out just from that. But
sure.
But Don't Pressure Us really hit me. And then Just a Passenger, I'm just like, yeah, man, like I agree with you. That's what it's like. Yeah. Oftentimes if I go into a store like and it's too crazy in there, I'm just like, okay, well, you know, whatever.
You know, I've literally not so much anymore, but back years ago when I really had problems with it, stuck in traffic, I would have panic attacks. And that's exactly what I felt. I was like, well, I'm just a passenger. I'm stuck here. I can't. Cars on each side of me and behind me. There's nowhere to go. So like, guess I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So
I assume,
like you're not in control of anything.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
It didn't make my list, but obviously it's in the conversation. And
yep.
I'm easily swayed. So
easily swayed. Good to know. Right. I got some money as well.
I'm easily swayed.
But
you guys already made a good argument there for it. So
also,
might as well just put it through.
With love too, like obviously the space theme plays a lot, but all of these, again, like you said, like putting yourself in a movie or whatever, or literally I could put myself, if I'm in space, I just feel like all these songs are like I'm in the universe, like looking at Earth and all the planets. And
we talk about being anxious. How anxious would you be in space?
Oh my God. Yeah, super anxious.
You know?
Super.
Yeah. All right, hon. Where are you at?
Okay. Again, just staying in order here because and my order is basically by album. So I'm still on Love. Letters to God Part 2 is the next one I had.
I got it.
I don't have that one.
I couldn't come up with a good enough reason to get rid of it.
I don't remember why I don't have it. I just don't have it. I don't think there. Likewise, I don't think there was a reason why I don't have it.
Right.
I think that was one I just listened to the first time, one time, and liked it and hit that like and put it through.
It hits for you.
This is a very Tom line, and I think that's ultimately why I couldn't cut it. I found out the truth. It's all a big lie. And he's talking to God. Like he's writing a letter to God, and he's like, well, I know the truth, man. This is all a lie. Like, what's the big deal here? So, like, I couldn't escape that. So
I get that.
All right. So just to put it out there, we have 4 all the way through, and 5 in the conversation. So one more into the convo gets us out of NTP. With that, I'm going to go back to I Empire, which, strangely enough, only the one other song I pulled from that album.
Wow. Okay.
Call to Arms.
I have it.
Hey.
Did I get that one?
Switch to my notes.
No, I didn't put that one in.
Well, we're officially out of NTP.
Track number 1.
Yep. Has that March feel.
Yep.
And this is it. Can you hear me? Like that line I kept coming back to that.
Excuse me. Yeah, and I think this is a really good obviously track number 1 for a reason. This is a really good tone setter for the album. It's a really you get, again, we're talking about growing up, from We Don't Need to Whisper to this. You still have that same feel of that first album. Like I think you would know, having heard the first album, like hearing this, like, okay, this is Angels and Airwaves. I know that sound. And then again, you just go through the formula, and it's there. So,
all right, Joe.
Well, I think I'm going to not say these ones because I don't think they're going to make it. So I'm going to go to Dreamwalker, and we already have Paralyzed in there. So I'm going to take I'm going to take this one because
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to say Teens and Rituals.
I got it.
And
yeah, me too.
There we go. It's grown up. It's very futuristic. And these first 3 tracks, they just play right into each other.
Yeah.
I think that I put all 3.
I wish we could just like make that one and like just one big 9-minute track, because I feel like it really could, like, if there wasn't, obviously with the streaming, like, it just goes to the next one, so you can't necessarily really tell that it changes songs. That's what I really love about Angels and Airwaves.
I was like, oh, that's a new song.
Well, that's what happened to you when you were listening to Love.
I was like, wait.
That's a new song? Wow.
Else. And because it flows so seamlessly. My note on Teenagers and Rituals was layers. So many layers. And then it's got that soft piano open, like tricking you into, oh, well, we're not going to rock you.
Yep. Yeah. But we are. We're going to rock your socks.
So dig that. All right. We're halfway there already.
Nice.
All right. Hon, it is your turn.
Oh, alrighty. So since we were talking about the Dreamwalker, I'll just stick with that, with the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got it.
Yep.
I mean, it's, again, all those 3, when you set it up, you should put those 3 right back to back.
Right next to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my only note was all flow. It just flows. All 3 of them, they just flow. And you get man, actually the way that the Wolfpack is like, I don't know if it's like, that's kind of like a callback to how I Empire is. That same kind of tone right there. So I really liked that. How I don't necessarily think it's a connection, you know what I mean, like 100%. But I liked how, again, you're throwing in kind of what we were, and this is where we are now. Like I really love how bands do that, you know, as we've heard on this show a bajillion times, you know. But I love those callbacks, like, hey, this is how we were, and we're starting to give you that, but man, this is where we're at now. Stick with us for the ride, homie, or whatever.
It's
bro.
funny that you say that, because this was my note. Prototypical AVA songwriting, but such a different soundscape.
Yeah, it really is. Again, like you just, you know it's there, you know it's them, and you're just,
what?
Your face.
What?
You're just like.
He's
like
just
you're
he's
in amazement.
He's into the tunes.
But
he's
such a different.
All right.
All right.
I love you.
All right.
Oh, do you now?
Uh-huh.
Love, it's hard.
That's true. All right, so you played Wolfpack, right? So it's my turn?
I did, yeah.
All right, so we are halfway there. Oh, you know what? We're hitting on all cylinders, really. I mean, there's been some misses, but
I don't know about all cylinders, but we're hitting on some.
All right.
At least 4.
I guess I'm going back to Love here. Which one do I want, though? I'll come to the top of my list.
Yeah, I still got a few from that one.
My note here, scene setting, and then Don't Go Away, I Need You Here. Hallucinations.
I cut that one.
I don't have that one.
All right.
It was
it's trash.
It's a good song. Again, one of those where compared to what I had, it's like it's too mellow.
Yeah.
On the more mellow side to me.
Well, you know, now's the time for misses.
Now's the time for misses.
All right, Joe.
Unless you really love the song. And then because you already said it, I know you're not going to have it, Justin, but I'm hoping maybe I'm going to... Well, actually, you're probably not going to have it either, because that's I Empire wasn't the album you really got to listen to much. So maybe I'm not going to just say any of these. Well, I don't have any more. I'm just kidding. I got more.
I got one more from that album.
I'm gonna take a chance here. It's I Empire. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet. I could go with the easy one, which will probably make it, or I could get my heart broken again. What do I want to do? Okay, so this is what it's in the chorus. It really just hits. I don't know other reason why than it just hits. I like it. I like the lyrics of it. I do this from time to time. When I wake from a bad dream, I do this from time to time. Say the things like I don't mean. Watch you as you sleep. Think of you and me. It's Sirens.
Oh.
I paraphrase the lyrics, but that's how it goes. Nobody has it. Trash.
Nope.
I definitely don't.
I do have two. I do have 2 more songs from I Empire on my list.
It's okay.
So,
it's fine.
It's your turn, huh?
You're not totally lost.
I'm not upset.
Here, I'll say one from I Empire.
Oh.
Love Like Rockets.
Yes.
All right.
Good one. I love that one. Do you feel alive? That's part of the song.
Yeah.
I don't. I feel dead.
Justin, you don't have that?
Nope.
No?
I got nothing else from that album.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
Interesting play. Okay.
All right.
Interesting play.
Well, I couldn't give up on Love, and I couldn't give up on Dreamwalker.
I
So it was
understand.
like finding the room for it.
I understand.
And speaking of Dreamwalker, I'm going to stay there. And this one's way outside the bounds. But my note here, can't even do acoustic normal. Anomaly.
I don't have it.
That makes sense.
I did have it, but it got out because, yeah, I mean...
It doesn't have the soaring.
It doesn't have the soaring, but
yeah,
man, like, how did you change acoustic? Like, how did you do that? Like, where's your brain at?
Acoustic.
I'm not saying it's bad at all. I dig it.
Normally that would be a strike. Like on any other band, it would have been a strike for me. But I was like, he did this different enough that I want to bring this to people's attention.
Right.
So you said you didn't have it on?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Trash.
Right. It's in the trash. It's in the trash. All right, Joe. I'm down to my last 4.
I got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5. But really, let's see.
I don't even know.
Really, I probably only have 2 because I know that these ones aren't going to hit. So, okay, I'm going to go. Ooh, it's Love, and it's a toss up here.
I think I have 5.
I think I'm going to go with the one that's a little bit faster, and it's Young London.
Oh.
Nope.
Like the way Young London comes in immediately off of Flight of Apollo.
So you have that one?
I don't.
Oh.
I don't.
It's okay.
Well, again, that album's just impossible. Like those two, like I feel like needed to go together, but like I didn't have the room to have them both.
Again, even on like when you see like a compilation track, whatever on Spotify, whatever, like you have the song / and then it's the name of the other song. It's because they flow together, right? Or you have like again, if you have like Green Day, Homecoming, St. Jimmy, it's one long 9-minute track, and that's the way it's set up. So like
I almost wish those two would have been together like that.
Exactly. So like Love really could have been like 4 songs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, because they just the flow of that. So
true.
And I mean, I wouldn't have been mad at it, as Angels and Airwaves has long songs like, an 8-minute song. Okay,
that's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Fine.
All right, hon.
All right. Well, I'll stick with Love and go with My Heroine. It's Not Over.
I do not have that one.
No.
Yeah, Breaking Your Hearts.
Oh,
man.
Just into the trash can.
Man, I've been doing so good.
Yeah.
I've been right there along with y'all.
Let's see. What do I have left?
Sorry, it's definitely the time for misses. There's going to be misses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stay on Love. It's such a strange celebration I kept coming back to.
Just strange celebration.
Behold a Pale Horse.
I do have Behold the Pale Horse.
Oh.
I enjoyed that song. I did not put it on my list.
All right, goes to the conversation though. Just what was it like? He's talking about like celebrating a death. I feel like I'd have to re-listen now.
I think
but
so.
Yeah, I'd have to look into the lyrics a little bit more.
Or the end of the world, actually. I think more specifically.
Yeah, I think the end of the world makes a little bit more sense with the way that the rest of the album goes. I think. Yeah, that one just caught me with burnout in the background, which is like a Blink, a Blink riff, you know. I think that's probably why it caught my attention. Yeah, that's all I have for that. I'd have to really be present and listen to what the lyrics are, because other than that, I can't really pick out another lyric in that song off the top of my head.
All right, but it makes it to the conversation, so that's A-okay, and I'm down to my last 3. So Joe, take it away.
Yeah, let's see. I got a couple honorable mentions, so I'm down to my last 3 also. I'm just gonna say it. It's from My Empire, and I think this is another formulaic Angels and Airwaves song. It's upbeat. It's Everything's Magic.
Obviously, I do not have it.
No, me neither.
Okay.
Well, I'll do
because it's a hit. It's a hit track.
Oh, I did not know. The only one I was aware of was The Adventure. Oh. So,
yeah, Everything's Magic is probably like number 4 on the list or something like that.
Well, I don't think we've played this one because this is also from I Empire. Correct me if I'm wrong. Breathe.
Breathe is from I Empire.
But did we play that one already?
We did not play that one.
That one is on mine.
I love that song so much. It was in my honorable mentions, and then I got rid of it to put in
ones that we trashed.
Teens and Rituals.
Okay.
So it would have been there. It would have been there, and I would have loved that, but I don't have it anymore. I trashed it.
Trashed. All right.
Because the Dreamwalker was the album you were unaware of, so you had to make room.
Yeah, I did. And those 3 songs, Paralyzed Wolfpack, and Teens, that took up 3 spots right there. So
right at the top.
Yeah, Everything's Magic is 4 on the top 5 list.
All right, so you know what? I'll stay on Dreamwalker then. Mercenaries.
I do not have Mercenaries.
I think I do. Hold on, let me scroll. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do have that one.
You didn't need to count me out is the line that I kept coming back to. So, all right. Joe?
How many do you guys have left?
2.
You got 2,
I think I just have 2.
I also have 2.
Or 3. I have 3.
You want to just clear them both out here instead of doing another round? Just clear them out.
If you want to.
Yeah, just
if you want to do that?
Just rattle both
just
of
want
them
to do
out
that?
real quick.
Do you just want to do that?
Let's just do that.
So do that?
Let's do that.
Okay, well, this one is from iEmpire. So maybe Kristin has it, possibly. The line that just builds all the way to the end is, "Are you curious? Please stay. Don't go. I got you now. It's heaven."
No, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. The other one is Surrender. It's a WrestleMania theme.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Not maybe a theme. It was like a track of. It was like on the WrestleMania track.
Whoa.
I don't know which year. Maybe you'd have to ask Chris. Probably 28. Maybe?
He would know. Like we could. Hey, what year was this? He would know.
Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to ask him real quick.
So I'll move that over to the trash.
No, you guys didn't have Surrender?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Nope. All right, hon. You want to clear yours out?
The ones I don't think we've mentioned that were on my list: "Rebel Girl" from Kiss and Tell.
Oh, good song.
I got it. So
I was like, I can't pick both. Like, I got to only choose one or the other. Like, so I chose that one over Kiss and Tell. I also have The Moon Atomic from Love.
I don't have that.
And Clever Love, also from Love.
I don't have that.
Nope. All right,
and I think, Kiss with a Spell from The Dreamwalker.
Nope.
Good song. Don't have it.
Nope.
I think that's all of mine.
All right, and then just to clear mine out, my last one was Dry Your Eyes.
Ooh, that's honorable mention. It's not on my list. It's just honorable mention.
My
for
note
me.
was Rocker with Ethereal Drone.
Yeah, like it's that one like comes out of nowhere, kind of like
Ethereal.
Yeah.
Well,
again,
Ethereal
like
Drone.
that weird, like spacey feel.
Your writer mind comes out.
So I also, as honorable mentions, I had Lifeline from iEmpire and I had Soul Survivor from Love.
Soul Survivor got through on my first one. I don't remember why I cut it. But I ended up cutting it, obviously. All right, let me clear this out.
Okay.
Archive. I'll archive this list. And so, the ones all the way through, I think we got 6. The Adventure, The War, The Flight of Apollo, Paralyzed, Teenagers and Rituals, The Wolf Pack. So those are the 6 that are in. Let's see, what do we have?
Well, I'm definitely going to make a case that Kiss and Tell's got to get through.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you guys already. I'm good with that.
So
'cause you guys had a whole conversation about that one.
we need to. There's 10, so we need to remove 4. We need to cut 10 down to 6.
Easier that way.
Here's the 10: Kiss and Tell, Distraction, Shove, Anxiety, Letters to God Part 2, Behold a Pale Horse, Call to Arms, Love Like Rockets, Mercenaries, Rebel Girl. At this point, looking at the list, I don't think we need anything else like from Dreamwalkers. I think we can lose Mercenaries. It's not going to get better than Paralyzed, Teenagers and Rituals, and
the Wolf
Pack.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get better than that. Good songs, but I don't think you're not going to do better than that. I don't think.
And again, out of Kiss and Tell and Rebel Girl, I guess you guys made your argument case for Kiss and Tell.
Of the two, Kiss and Tell is the better tune. The Rebel Girl has more of an 80s feel it was enough to get through for me.
I think that's why I liked it
I'm
better.
sure.
And Rebel Girl is a radio track also. So it's going to get a lot of plays that way. It's going to get a lot of not notoriety, but a lot of ears to it. Yeah. Also, I don't know if not that I listen to the radio anymore anyway, but as much as I love Kiss and Tell, I don't see that being on the radio anyway. Because I feel like the flow of radio, it wouldn't fit for some reason. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly why that is. I don't have a good reason, but I just hear it and it's not a radio song anymore.
And my mind always goes to a pop or something that would be on the radio,
right?
Or not necessarily pop, but something that would be popular or anybody.
I could see where that would be the case for Rebel Girl, but in my humble opinion, Kiss and Tell is where Angels and Airwaves is and going.
Yeah, 100%.
And to me, that puts it over the top over Rebel Girl.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, yeah. Totally.
All right, so let's grab Kiss and Tell, put it over, and we'll drop Rebel Girl. All right, so we're halfway
or 15, there. He said.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's see. 2014 would have been 30, right? And 2015 would have been 31? Yeah, because 2014 was D-Bry's year.
Yep.
Oh, y'all are doing this.
Sorry, we had to do
it.
Because we said Chris would know.
Uh-huh. And he did.
And he did. All right, so now we need to lose
29. WrestleMania 29. I just googled it.
So Miami.
It was actually 2012. He was off. He was wrong.
Wow.
He was wrong.
Wow.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, anyway, we're back to the game.
What did I say? We're at 8, so we need 2 more.
Well, I know that you like to just cut, but I think you guys, I'm good with putting Anxiety
7
on the list.
Oh.
I was the odd man out. I didn't have that one, but I enjoyed that one, and I'm good with.
All right.
So
thank you for making the case for us.
I'm with it.
But you guys already made
Appreciate
a case for it earlier, so
It is
true.
And I mean, it is. That song is very much like having anxiety, or at least the story of in words.
what it's like to what you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. That puts us at
That's
8.
at 9?
8 or 9. Hold on.
2, I really went Distraction on there, but
8. It's 8.
Oh, 8. Okay.
So we have room for 2 more.
All right. So what we have? We got rid of Dreamwalker. Everything left for Dreamwalker, right? Because we already have 3 in.
Yeah. Well, we have to have something from iEmpire.
Yeah, we don't have anything from iEmpire.
The only 2 that
really?
made it. Yeah, the only 2 that made it were Call to Arms and Love Like Rockets.
and I had Love Like Rockets. I really like that one.
I think Love. So if we're talking about ones, I think Love Like Rockets plays a little bit more of. Well, now I'm kind of contradicting myself because.
Not that way.
I'm gonna contradict myself because I was gonna say that I feel like Love Like Rockets plays a little bit better as an Angel song, that because it comes in a little bit quicker, but I guess that with Call to Arms they're kind of the same really.
Yeah.
That's a tough call. I'm looking at the list with ones that build and so the Flight of Apollo, the Adventure, the War, the Wolf Pack. All those are slower builds.
Mm-hmm.
So
the slow burn.
So I don't know. My thought is Love Like Rockets over Call to Arms.
So the question is, because we have room for both, do we want both, or do we want one or the other?
And what else is left?
All right.
Behold the Pale Horse.
There's everything else except for Distraction is Love. So we've got Distraction.
Okay. Wow. So we have a lot of love.
Distraction, Shove, Letters to God Part 2, and Behold a Pale Horse. And just for reference, Anxiety and Flight of Apollo are already through from Love, and The Adventure and The War are already through from...
We don't need to whisper.
We don't need to whisper.
And we got
could
3
put both from iEmpire through then. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that could be good representation.
Yeah.
Because that's 2 from everything then, plus the single.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the Flight of Apollo and Anxiety are good representations of love, obviously, because we put them through.
I mean, I could make a case for Shove, but I think that's just because it's an earworm.
Right.
So I
get that.
But for ease of conversation, let's put both of the ones from iEmpire through.
Okay.
All right.
Man,
we got it.
Well,
so here is our 10. The Adventure, The War, The Flight of Apollo, Paralyzed, Teenagers and Rituals, The Wolf Pack, Kiss and Tell, Anxiety, Call to Arms, and Love Like Rockets.
Nice.
Let me switch Teenagers and Rituals and Paralyzed just for
continuity.
Yep.
Listening sake.
Continuity.
So now comes the hard work. Where are you going?
I think it's easy.
Where are you going?
Kiss and Tell. I think that's my number one with the bullet.
Because where they are.
Going to be The Adventure.
I can see
I can see the case for
Adventure.
the Adventure also. I can definitely see that.
I'm actually okay with either, to be honest.
I could definitely see the case for Adventure because, I mean, that's well, okay, because Kiss and Tell and Rebel Girl are so new, but the Adventure's number 3 on the top 5.
Yeah.
Like, as far as listens wise, you know what I mean? So like, that's an Angel song too.
Yeah.
I could see that as well.
I could see the case for the Adventure because Tom has specifically said it's the best thing he's ever written.
Yeah.
And because of the message behind it. Whereas the argument for Kiss and Tell for me would be the same reason we picked it over Rebel Girl. Like, this is where they are, and like it's really exciting to think about what this album's going to be.
The yeah, with the excitement of that, I just, if I'm thinking of trying to put myself into the mind of somebody that's never heard before too.
Yeah.
I think anybody would be in if they stick around for the full 4 minutes or whatever of the Adventure.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like if you wait, not that you really have to wait a long time, but a little slower to come in. If I'm looking as a new person, Kiss and Tell comes in a little bit quicker, where you might stick around more, or you might stick around longer as a new listener.
Yeah.
Is my only thing.
I
see how both can work. You know what I mean? As a new listener, somebody who's never heard this before, and with attention spans being so small.
Thinking about it in that regard, Kiss and Tell would make a better track 1 than the Adventure would. Because it kind of pops you in the mouth more.
Yeah, the very first song I listened to was Kiss and Tell, and it did not hook me the way the Adventure did. I mean, that song has been stuck in my head for days.
Yeah.
The Adventure?
The Adventure.
Yeah.
And Kiss and Tell, I didn't even choose that one to put on my list.
Yeah.
So I went with Rebel Girl instead.
As
As a new listener to it.
There's our new listener that we're talking about too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, based on the weight of that, I almost feel like we have to go with the Adventure.
I mean, we were just talking about if I was a new listener, which I'm not, but you are, and the Adventure hooked you. So I think
I want to reiterate the point. I am super excited to hear what because
I want to see what the movie is.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
like
all
the
of
music as a movie and the movie because they're making a movie too.
Yeah,
so
it's
okay. Let's do the Adventure.
And I think the last thing to point out here is that this started as an art project.
Yeah.
Tom says that time and time and time again. This started as an art project, and I think he still views it as such, but like I think after stepping away from Blink specifically, like it became a band more to him.
Yeah, and I think again that's why I feel like you can go so many different ways with Angels because to us it's music. Mm-hmm. But, maybe like to him, it's not really music. It's just art. Mm-hmm. It's just experiment. So again, you don't have to just go up there and play. You can have fun.
Yeah.
So like
punk as F.
Punk as fuck. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. This has been fun. I really enjoyed it. I was been pumped for this all week.
Yeah.
I like how, again, I'm just like a permanent panel member now, and everybody's probably going to think that you're super biased for me to get my bands and talk about Joe's bands. Oh, we're talking about Joe's band again.
Well, the thing was, like, I put out a post because like I needed a quick turnaround for this weekend because I'm testing the new setup.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's got a quick turnaround? And you were like, Angels and Airwaves. And you had mentioned it after the show last week. You're like, we should put that on the list. I was like, yeah, I will. And I did. Yeah. And then I was like, well, what's got a quick turnaround? Joe's like, Angels and Airwaves. I was like, oh.
How soon can you be ready? I'm ready now.
So
I'm ready yesterday.
There it is. I mean, that's just the way it happens sometimes in the world of Deprogrammed.
Yeah.
And the world of Deprogrammed can include you, if you'd like it to. Patreon.com/ohhijustin. $1 a month. Only $1 a month helps me with all this equipment stuff. It helps me. Really what it is it's a self-esteem boost.
Well, yeah.
Makes me feel like I'm doing A-okay over here. Yeah. People like me, maybe.
People want
kinda.
me.
somewhat.
I do.
Hey-o!
That's why do you think I've been here the last 3 weeks? Just trying to get in your pants.
Yeah.
What?
What was
no.
my joke? There's a bed in the
There's a bed.
studio.
Yeah, there is a bed. There's a bed.
There's a bed in the studio.
Right over there.
Yeah.
But you can help me out a great deal, and you get lots of stuff in return. It's not like you're just giving me $1 and you get nothing. You get deprogrammed before the rest of the world. You get the daily Oh Hi Justin pod. Now you get the daily after school podcast, which is me and my son. And then you get hashtag Recipes comes right to you, and literally everything else I'm doing. And that's not just pods. Thumbs up. That's all I'm saying.
Thumbs up.
Because something may be coming down the pike.
Something might be coming up. So check your
pretty
7.
exciting. Yeah, you're going to want to be in
You'll
on
have
this.
to lolet Izzy do your promotional
check your 7, your 6, and all 5 of your fingers.
And you're going to want to be around for this. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. It's going to be stupid, and it's going to be fun. So let me run down this list real quick. The Adventure, Kiss and Tell, The War, The Flight of Apollo, Teenagers and Rituals, Paralyzed, The Wolfpack, Anxiety, Call to Arms, and Love Like Rockets. That's your 10.
Nice.
I think you can really get into that. And I know, Joe, you've got Alkaline Trio around the corner. Taking Back Sunday is you too, I think? Or is it
I thought you already had that filled. I wanted to do it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think I did. If somebody bums out, I'll definitely jump in on that. I just saw them on Thursday. That was really good.
But you've got a number of them up there. Yeah, Fall Out Boy for sure. Actually, we might have my sister-in-law on that show.
Cool.
I made her listen to the brand new episode, so we'll see if she is in.
See if she's in.
Because she likes brand new. And Hun,
Never gonna get to listen to mine.
We're gonna make the case.
Do mine.
Well, so I know Sarah Bareilles. Actually, one you put out recently, Black Eyed Peas. So we'll see if anybody levitates on that or gravitates to that rather.
Yeah, but I really want to do Dixie Chicks or
I tried.
Sarah Bareilles.
I tried.
You did
Dixie
post it.
Chicks.
But Dixie Chicks would be so different. You don't do country bands very much on here. So.
The only one I've done and it hasn't been recorded yet is Alabama. Frodo.
Yeah.
But I'm down. I'm willing to do it. It's just we have to have another
person. I know.
Yeah,
and I'd like another person that truly enjoys the Dixie Chicks to be on the show.
I think there's a lot of people that have been on the show that would like Sarah Bareilles if they gave her the chance, because they live in that. She lives in that same vein of a Tori Amos, of a Fiona Apple. It's not the same.
It just doesn't sound like it, but her.
She's a singer-songwriter.
Right.
She writes her own tunes. She plays the piano. It's there.
She's a storyteller.
Absolutely.
I mean, her albums are stories. Yeah. So sorry, we're not talking about that. But
no,
I'm trying to make a sell here.
Well, yeah.
So maybe somebody will reach out.
Maybe somebody will jump on.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I'm working on trying to get the Skype back up and running, because I'm sitting on a lot of panels that I can't do because.
Oh, because of the Skype.
Yeah, because this whole thing that you guys can't see me miming, all this.
All the
Memeing.
Things. Memeing. All
right.
things.
Kill,
All
maim,
right.
destroy.
But with that, Angels and Airwaves, learn them and love them, people. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.